Happy Easter, Tooth Fairy, by Peter Bentley and Garry Parsons, read by Grandpa Wohwoh. The Tooth Fairy looked out one bright Easter day and saw an old friend who was hopping her way. She waved from the window. "Hello, Easter Bunny. Do you fancy a nice hot cross bun with some honey?" The bunny said, "Sorry, I really can't stay. I'm off to hide eggs for the egg hunt today." "I'll help," said the fairy. "That sounds like great fun." The bunny said, "Thanks. We'll soon get it done." The fairy flew over a fence with her eggs, and the bunny slipped through on his lollipy legs. The Tooth Fairy laughed. Hiding eggs is a hoot, as she dropped one kerplop in an old welly boot. She hid eggs in a wheelbarrow under a log, then got chased by a kitten and Tim Tucker's dog. Some gardens were massive and some very small. The bunny and fairy hid eggs in them all. "Just one garden left," said the bunny at last. "The hunt will start soon, so we'll have to work fast." They crept through the hedge and dashed madly about, hiding their eggs, till they heard someone shout. The Tooth Fairy cried, "Someone's coming, oh my!" So they stood still as gnomes as three children ran by. One girl, little Gracie, was ever so giggly. "Look at my tooth," she declared. "It's all wiggly." Said the bunny, "We need to hide somewhere." "But where?" The Tooth Fairy pointed and said, "Over there. Let's hide in that watering can for a bit." But the poor bunny's ears were too big to fit. The Tooth Fairy helped him to pull out his head. Pop! Then he dived in a bin that stood next to the shed. The egg hunt began, and off Gracie ran, straight for the Tooth Fairy's watering can. "Is there something inside?" Gracie said with a frown. Then she gleefully shook the whole can upside down. The fairy just managed to stop falling out by squashing up tight in the watering can spout. "Nothing in here," the little girl said, and ran off to hunt for more eggs by the shed. When the egg hunt was over, the children sat round and fairly shared out all the eggs they had found. Nobody spotted the Tooth Fairy slipping out of the watering can, tussled and dripping. She shook out her wings and then hastily sped to look for her friend in the bin by the shed. Pooh! All she saw was a big heap of yuck. Then up popped the bunny, all covered in muck. Said the bunny. "Oh, fairy, don't grin. That's the last time I hide in the compost bin." "And you're not much better," he laughed. "What a mess! You're soaked. Have you been for a swim in your dress?" The Tooth Fairy smiled and said, "Fubble-de-fy!" And as quick as a flash, they were both clean and dry. Then all of a sudden they heard Gracie shout, "My wobbly tooth isn't there. It's come out." Poor little Gracie looked ever so glum. "If I don't have my tooth, then the fairy won't come." The bunny said, "Fairy, that isn't true, is it?" "Oh, no," said the fairy. "I'll still come and visit. But I'm sad she's unhappy. I'll say a quick spell. We'll find her lost tooth, and then all will be well. Fibble-de-fubble, come here, tooth, to me." That's strange, it's not working. Where can that tooth be? The Tooth Fairy tried out the spell once again, but the tooth didn't come. She said, "What a pain." The bunny said kindly, "Dear fairy, don't fret. Just say it once more. We'll find that tooth yet." She tried it again, and the bunny cried, "Look, the watering can. I'm sure it just shook." They lifted the can up and instantly found Gracie's lost tooth there on the ground. The fairy made sure that the girl didn't see as she sent off the tooth with a fibbledy-fee. Just as the children were going inside, Gracie glanced down at her basket and cried, "My tooth! Oh, I found it!" she beamed with delight. "That means that the Tooth Fairy's coming tonight." "I'm glad she's so happy," the Tooth Fairy said. "I'll bring her a coin when she's tucked up in bed." "Thank you for all your help," said the bunny. "Working with you was exciting and funny." "Now I still have one egg to deliver," he grinned. "Bye-bye, I must hurry as fast as the wind." The fairy waved bye. Then she flew home to see a shiny bright Easter egg next to her tree. Dedicated to all my grandchildren.